Let's settle now for the details. And in our first story, Member of Parliament for North Tongu constituency, Adwoa, has charged Parliament to devise a mechanism to detect MPs who breach the constitutional threshold of absenting themselves from parliamentary duties for 15 sittings. In the view of the NDC MP, the internal mechanisms will ensure the taxpayer receives great service from their MPs. His comments come on the back of concerns raised by some members of the Majority Caucus, mounting pressure on its leadership to refer the conduct of Tongu MP Adwoa Safo to the Privileges Committee after abandoning her parliamentary duties for 15 continuous sittings. But Mr. Adwoa believes there are two other NPP MPs, Kennedy Ohini Japong of Asin Central and Henry Kote of Adwoa Central MP, who have also absented themselves from Parliament above the 15 days deadline, just like the MP for Tongu Adwoa Safo, insisting all three must be dragged to the Privileges Committee.
Our constituents should know that we are doing our best in representing them. The ministerial positions that people occupy, they are there to work for the Republic. And sometimes there are some high-level matters that a chief director cannot work on, an active minister cannot work on. It is you, as minister, who, having been nominated, vetted, approved by the House, and sworn into office, you have that authority. And you have this really dysfunctional system where people can just go AWOL, and the system does not even detect it. I'm more worried about that. How is it that Parliament, the Speaker's office, the institution, the entire institution, we do not detect such things? And people get, if I had not taken it upon myself to go through this. I mean, so as an institution, I think that we need to carry out an introspection. We need to do some reforms, and we need to put in place the necessary checks. Because if people realize that they can do this and get away with it, then you see, it's an incentive for bad behavior. So, beyond raising this matter about these three MPs, I want to see Parliament carry out institutional reforms so that internally we will be able to detect this once the 15-day mark is crossed. Because it's not for nothing that the framers of the Constitution knew that there might be some public officials who may be elected and will just abdicate or just derelict, just go AWOL. They will just not, be there to serve their people, particularly when their people need them most. And I am deeply worried that as an institution, this can escape everybody, and people can do these things and get away with it. So I want to see fundamental structural reforms moving forward so that these things do not recur. But on the matter of by-elections, if there has to be a referral, it has to be 3 MPs, not 1.
He also observed that MPs who fail to show up in Parliament without the Speaker's permission undermines the Speaker's authority, a situation, he argues, should not be entertained.
Because, you see, it's even not respectful to the Speaker of Parliament and to the House and to the people who voted for you. I mean, the provisions in the Constitution and in our standing orders are clear. If you have justification, write to the Right Honourable Speaker and seek approval. So how is it that people just elect to go AWOL, to disappear, to shirk their responsibilities, to abdicate? They show no respect to the Speaker's office. They do not seek permission. And their constituents and the House now suffers for it. This cannot continue. And some of us are doing this more for the reforms that is needed and more for the stronger, because you see, we carry out oversight over the executive. And we are responsible for ensuring that there are checks and balances. Charity must begin at home. Within our own institution, we must put in place the necessary systems that will forestall situations like this from recurring.